Hey everyone, it's Char from Char's Fascination. That's right, I'm sitting up by the window today. Why? If you saw that thumbnail, I will be making a tank top. Now, with the house soon to be redone, and that includes the laundry and getting new appliance, that means I have to sew me some new clothes for a couple of reasons. I ran out and my clothes are too big. That's a good reason. Like the pants I have on right now, these, anybody remember these? I had to take these in by 4 inches, 2 inches on each side. Let me get my chair back over here. I told my friend Janelle, which I will leave her listed. She's a plant mom. Isn't that lovely? She has some beautiful plants. She has, what did she say? She has recently like 160 plants. Welcome to the jungle. So, yeah. So we're gonna do that. And yeah, let me get this camera turned around and I will show you how I fold the collar down and use my sewing clips. So again, like this will sort of be like a sewing 101 from my friend Janelle. So let's get into that. Okay, so now that we have turned the camera and this is the back piece to a tank top. Now, I could do a double cut on this if I wanted to make a tank top that has the matching front and back. Now, my thing with that is, when we do matching front and back, you have to leave right here, and I have black thread on my machine. You have to leave, like, on one side, a mark of where the back is. So, that's why we do 2 different pieces. This one right here, I will show you, has that right here, has this piece here for the front strap, which matches up with the back strap. Now, when you do something like this, a lot of people actually cut to make sure that it's perfectly on the round. I do that sometimes, but there's other times where I do not feel like doing that. So what I do is this, is I will start off by putting one. Now, if you notice, hold on, I'll get that back up there. If you notice right here, what I just did is I take the fabric and I roll it down, take that, and I had to clean my machine this morning so I could finish taking in the pants that I have on. I was so tired last night. Like sometimes when your machine locks up, remember after so many uses, you need to clean it out and oil her up. Gotta oil up that machine, make her work right. So since I mostly use the Singer Heavy Duty 4452, I also have access to my Sears Kenmore sewing machine, which is that vintage one I found for $60 in a yard sale. Like, goodness. Am I a sewing machine collector? Absolutely. So now we have this here, and I will work on this side. Now, once we get all this clipped, like this, right? And I get this over at the machine. Yes, I can do that to these parts here. When you roll this back and you do that to this, and you clip these together, you always want to do that. But what I like to do is lately is make sure I have the collar fit down, tacked down perfectly, because I like how this is looking. And my thought is sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a little decorative stitch along the way. So let me get this finished, clipped together, and I will meet you at the machine. Okay, so when it comes down to doing the shoulders together, right? Like I have the front and the back pieces, like the collars clipped down. Now this is a different way of me doing this. Normally I tack down the shoulders and then do that, but this is going to be a little different this time because I feel like sometimes just doing that does something weird to the collar. So we line that up, right? I'll put these over here and clip these together. I did forget to show you this part, so we will just clip that together and take it over there. And yeah, let's get this going. Now this actually shouldn't take too long to do because it's a tank top. Okay, well now that we're over here at the sewing machine, now I have black thread in today because I needed to change that to get some other garments started and finished. But first I have to make me some clothes. So I have it under here. I have this on the single stitch setting, which is fine if you want to use the single stitch. I like to use a good serger stitch, but that's just me. Every sewing machine is different. Now, remember, I love these. The best thing, you don't have to worry about poking your hand. You can find these on, I got mine on Amazon, but Amazon is kind of irking me lately because I bought something for the cat and it never bothered to show. So, now I'm going to hit that reverse button. You've just locked your stitch with the reverse button, okay? That's a good thing. Always a good thing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish sewing this and show you how I'm going to, put the rest of this together. Like I said, this video actually is not going to be that long today. So I hope for everything. I should move the lamp up here because y'all might be able to see better. There we go. Now you can see better. I obviously don't have my standing lamp anymore. So let's see. Is that better? Absolutely. There we go. Anyways, I'm going to finish this, finish the other one, show you how I do the collar when I'm almost done with it, because or I'll just come back with that part. So anyway, we'll be right back. We'll figure this out together. Now, I don't care what this looks like right here. We had a little flu-boo, but I fixed it. I'm just doing a one fold hem, okay? Like right here, when you fold it over, it's called a folded hem. Now, this is where we go to straight stitch on the collar. Now, I tacked this in a specific direction right here on purpose. Now, why did I switch my stitch? That sounds funny, switch your stitch. Is because a straight stitch, you can do a decorative stitch on this. It's okay. It's your choice. We have choices. But what I like to do with this is have a sturdy straight stitch, because sometimes when you use another stitch, that can actually make the collar wobbly on this, and we don't want a wobbly collar. Now, a piece like this you can definitely wear as a pajama, or you can wear as just something, a lot of people wear their pajamas, or you have a pajama shirt that's basically a regular shirt. Really, that's what it is. Unless it's a negligee, then that's different. Although some negligees have been worn as a slip dress. You just put something underneath it, obviously. Every time you come around on this, you're obviously, when it comes this close to that, you take that out like I've been doing. You know, I actually added up how many years have I been sewing. I've been sewing for 40 years. I learned as a kid, but I have been sewing for 40 years. Now, that's a long time to have a skill. Now, I've been a custom clothing designer since the late 80s, although technically I used to just draw fashion in books. I guess that sort of made me a custom clothing designer. Now, this machine's been acting a little weird, so I have the Sears Kenmore on standby in case this one does dumb again. I don't know what's with this machine today. I cleaned it. I oiled it. She should be happy. I changed the tension. Now, also remember your tension, which is at the top of the machine. The tension is at the top of your machine. Now, this is where mine is. Yes, I love Death Wish everything. This is your needle setting. So that down here, I'm not going to do that. And over here is your thread length setting. And I keep my extra bobbins right there. So let's get back over here and finish stitching. Now, when you also have a very thin piece like this, because you will have those, now if you're not like me and you haven't sewn for that long, or you're new like my friend Janelle, oh, be careful. That'll happen. Hold on. Let me fix that. Oh my goodness. Sometimes the thread gets a little weird right here. And I pull that. And then what I like to do is go like that to make sure that the thread isn't doing something stupid. And what you do is you fix your thread. Leave it a little tension, because sometimes it needs a little attention. Then you hope that it isn't stuck. Even though I fixed my tension on this and my settings and everything, sometimes it will catch. So when you're starting out, I'm not going to recommend a rayon, spandex rayon fabric like this. I will recommend a stretchy cotton that's not too stretchy. Anyway, I'll end up showing you those on another day. Well, something like this, right? Ooh, where we be? Something like this. I would recommend that you start with fabric like this. Again, I got this from Fabric Mart. This is a 4-way stretch. This was another one that I got in the $20 fabric bundle, which gives you 10 yards of fabric. Sometimes I throw in a little extra. So hold on, let me figure this out, because, well, and I told you this machine's been acting up today. So this is going to have to be day 2. I'm going to try to get the shirt done today. Yesterday, I started to not feel too well. So I had to give it a break. But what I did do, I will show you here, is I clipped the sides together. So we're going to sew up the sides. And then we will do the under the arm. I'm not putting sleeve on this. I like a good tank top. It's summer and like hot and cold out. But anyway, I'm gonna grab me a drink of water. And so let's get back to sewing. Now, before we put the garment back on here, I am going to take my piece of scrap fabric and run it under here and make sure that we're not going to have that weird thing happen that happened yesterday, because sometimes your machine, if it just sits and it has a fit because you haven't used it. And that is why sometimes I do this. And make sure your needle's up. That's why you do this sometimes, because if you've left your sewing machine sit for a while, weird things start happening with it. Kind of like this world anymore, right? Weird things happen to it. So now when it comes down to this part right here, right, the little corner, make sure that you leave enough space to turn back this. And so what I like to do, okay, we're still in straight stitch. Good. Now, this side you could definitely do with an overlock, serger stitch, which the Singer Heavy Duty 4452 happens to have several different settings. So if you're lucky enough to have one with several different settings, why did that just, you saw that, right? That was weird. And the other thing with slippery fabric is you have to make absolutely sure, because this stuff will go doing something wonky on you if you're not careful. Now, like I said, this is straight stitch. Okay. And I always lock it over like on the third, as you heard there. The third, as you heard. Reverse and lock it. That is what your reverse stitching is for locking it in place. And it's great because you can do that. Now, I did adjust this how I like it. I have several different videos of cloning clothes. That's way back. I've been in this house for 5 years, so yeah. Okay, I don't know if you can see how that stitch is going right there. Yeah, you can. So when I do this side, also the other side off camera, okay, and that way this goes quicker. I like doing that, and I have my reasons. Make sure you don't have fabric bunched up under here. You're going to have some issues. By the way, funny question. Do you guys like watching the videos with pretty nails on or without? So I've gotten compliments on having my nails done when I do a sewing video. So feedback doesn't hurt on that. Now, when you come up towards the end, if you see how I'm holding this, holding the end piece right here, and just, now we can just take this one off, and the end piece, and we're holding it, and holding it. Lock it in place and let it roll forward. Okay, so now that we've got this part done, now I will explain to you why I like this type of stitching, is because if you ever need to seam rip, it's easier to catch this than it is a straight stitch to try to get that out of there. So I'm going to get the other side sewn up and we'll be right back. Now, something I do like to do, and this is why I have 2 containers of sewing clips, right? As you can see, this one now has less in it, and this one is obviously filled the most. So what I will do is I will set this one to the side because I put this one over here, down here. So if you guys ever see me reach down when I'm working with these, and yes, I shut that light off because you're able to see this a little better until I turn this back on. So what we're gonna do now, pull this back over here. If you ever notice, right here, I keep my favorite pair of scissors for the machine. I always keep a pair here because I need them. So it is in the afternoon now, and what we will do is switch this back to straight stitch. Now, if you're doing the inside, go ahead and use that lock stitch. If you're doing this with that, or if you actually want to use the lock stitch, the overlock stitch, with this, that'll be decorative. There are some clothes that are like that. There are some clothes that are not. But with a garment like this, I actually like to do this. Now, sometimes I will start at the armpit and work my way around, which sometimes that's easier, depending on the garment that you're making. Now, when you're doing this and you're bringing it down here, don't put it in the center. I'm going to show you a little something when it comes down to doing this, and make sure that you have your fabric straightened out, because that is also important. Now, if you saw what I just did there, now this is where I'll turn that light back on. If you saw what I just did, which is take the presser foot and put it right before this clip, and straighten that back out, because now we can just go like this and go forward. Back that up. I was telling Rob just a little bit ago that I'm so used to being big that I automatically make plus size clothes for myself. I mean, a size 12 is now supposed to be a plus size, but that's the size I was in high school. There's nothing wrong with being a size 12. Really isn't. Depends on your bone structure. If you're like super petite and short, then yeah, that's probably not a good size for you. And if I don't like how this shirt looks on me and I have to alter it, hey, that's fine. If I just don't like how it looks on me as a shirt, then I'll probably give this to Mary Catherine. I kind of have my thoughts set on that. There's always nothing wrong with sewing for different sizes. Different sizes of people are just people. Don't matter your nationality either. It really doesn't matter your nationality. Now, like, I talked to my youngest boy yesterday, and my oldest boy is down helping to protect the border. And before he went down this time, the time before that, he said an illegal immigrant came over. There's good and bad in every nationality, but an illegal immigrant had come over the border in a truck and started throwing kittens out the window while he was driving fast. Like, that is a monster. And so he went to look at the kittens. Most of them, one survived. He took that kitten home. I wish he could have caught the bastard. I really do. Oh, I must be out of bobbin. Hold on, let me change that. Yes, that was exactly it. We're totally out of this one. I keep extras up top, so hold on. So I guess it ran out of bobbin when I was starting this. I should have checked that. And the one I pulled off there to put in, like, it did some weird. It wouldn't come out of it, which is weird. Now, if you have a section, and I'm going to show you this, another reason why I keep my scissors here, squish them together. You can hold them together. And what that does is help to feed it through. And I really was thinking if I didn't like this on me that I would give it to Mary Catherine. I think this would go well with her complexion and her hair, right? She has beautiful hair. And the other thing I was making for her anyway, something like weird. I don't know what the heck. Let me figure out, like, that won't go now. So it's not the tension or anything. Okay, even on hump day, some things don't want to go over the hump. I just didn't want to go over that one part. That was weird. It seemed like that part caught and twisted some of the thread, but I undid that, and here we go, and so on and so on. So as soon as I'm done with this side, then I will do the other side, you know, the other one. And then actually, because you see how I'm going around with this, that doesn't want to be right today. I don't want to behave. Some of the little clippy thingies sometimes, you know, stick underneath, but it's okay. And I'll tell you why I recommend the sewing clips is because a lot of beginners might get a little freaked out on the needles because you can get jabbed. By the sewing pin. And now I want you to understand, like, always watch where I keep this hand opposed to here, right? Because you don't want to sew your finger. And if it has a problem going over the hump on hump day, the other thing is to gently push it, or make sure it isn't stuck in your machine. That's another thing you want to watch out for, because sometimes when it comes down to this part, it could get pushed down and caught in the teeth in the machine. That can happen. Like, we could go like this, and sometimes, and I'm pulling that on purpose, sometimes you can get accidental double thread here. I'm going to do this just to show you, because it did catch like I thought it did. Sometimes it can push it down into the piece under here, which is where the needle goes down in, and then you put that back under right here where you left off, right? And make sure that your fabric is flat. And if it does it again, there you go. You see? Now that it got past that, as you saw, right? And away we go. Now we're almost done with this sleeve hole, your armhole. It's not a sleeve hole unless you put a sleeve on it, then it's a sleeve hole. That makes sense? It's a sleeve hole if you put a sleeve on it. Now, also sometimes, like, I use a good serger thread. And I have MacGyvered a way to keep it up there. I have MacGyvered that, so. You don't have to go as fast as I do, because you have to get used to the fact that I would say for a beginner, go about this speed if you are a beginner. That's the last clip to take off. This is the thread where we left off. Clip that off. You do not always sew straight, if you notice. Sewing is not always in a straight line. Indeed, it's not. Then you bring that out, clip it, and I will show you what this looks like now. I think that looks pretty good. I don't know how well you can see that now, but anyway, that looks pretty good. This daylight's gone weird again, you know what I mean? Sometimes daylight's gone funky anymore. Make sure you trim your threads back, like right here. There are a few threads. When you finish a garment, go back and check. Am I worried about this? No, because I could always roll that down and do it again if I wanted to make a narrow shoulder strap. I could do that. The reason I'm not worried about that is because sometimes you need that little extra point on there to pronounce your shoulder in a garment. So let me finish this side. I will try this on and we'll be back with that. Now, there's some obvious points on this. Like, don't mind this is the pattern. It is too big. I can't believe how much, I mean, other than my legs, you know, my hips. Look at that. Like, I can't believe I've lost that much, you know? Like, I mean, I like the fit. The shoulders are great. That does fit nice. I've actually had to take in this black bra. I had to take the hooks, like I'm on, I think the fourth hook in on this bra. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you think of this shirt? I know it needs to be hemmed here. I do like it, like I said, but it's too big on me. I have to get used to making me smaller sizes. So I'll hem it at the bottom, and Mary Catherine, the other one didn't turn out. So eventually this will be in the mail for you, and I have to make me something smaller. So whatever. But for those of you out here, see, I even have to like, and these pants, they're getting there. I've already taken these in, and now I have to take them in again. And they are stretchy, the same kind of fabric as the shirt. But let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you like how this turned out? Even though I have to do the bottom. Yeah, let me know kindly in the comments below, because I can't believe how much weight has gone off my body. So remember, it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter your nationality. Everybody is a person. And with that said, stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, stay blessed. And now I have to find something to fit me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. I don't know why that turned back on.